Hello folks and fans, welcome to another edition of Now We're Piping with Dr. Rockwood. I guess this could be my second Sunday night ramble. Out of my Bardella Firenze Savinelli, I'm smoking some Samuel Gawith Full Virginia Flake. And here I'm drinking some Abruzzese red wine. It's an Italian red. Oh, I can't remember. It's what we served at our wedding. Still had a couple bottles of it, so I decided to crack one open and, you know, enjoy. Got the sniffles a little bit, which kind of sucks because I really want to be able to enjoy this Full Virginia Flake. Excuse me. Oh. I took some Otrivin earlier just to open the sinuses up so that I could purposefully taste this so much better. But it kind of backfired on me now because now I got the sniffles. Anyway. Just finished recording 3 videos. One's a VR, so I'll post it, I guess, alongside or shortly after this one. By the way, if you guys have ever had Samuel Gawith's Full Virginia Flake, let me know. I actually overly dried it today in the hopes that it would smoke well. It's been sitting in my tin for about a year. Maybe a bit more. And some crazy sugar crystals were formed on the flake, so I was pretty excited about that. But yeah, I didn't want it to burn too hot, so I dried them out extra. I mean, it tastes fantastic. It's dark, creamy. Tastes like a bakery, you know? Fantastic stuff. And I'm not upset about the burn on this, you know? I dried it out. It's not biting me. Not that when it was wet it was prone to biting, but something about aged Sam Gawith's Full Virginia that just kind of does it for me, you know? Anyway, do I have a story for you? So, as you know, we recently moved from the Rockwood Manor next door to here at the Rockwood Towers. And everything's set, everything's done now. Earlier on this week, we got our couch delivered finally. One of those build-it-yourself sectionals from this company called Cozy. I think they're based out of Montreal. Anyway, it's a Canadian company. And basically, every part of the sectional comes in its own box. And the idea is that it's modular, right? So you build it yourself, like you assemble each part yourself, and then if you want to move, you can dismantle it. You can take it apart easily, or if you want to add parts to it or remove parts to it, it's also very easy to do that. So basically, we ended up with like a dozen massive boxes, and we're talking like 4 feet by 3 feet by like 4 feet. They were huge boxes. So my wife would open them up in the garage, and I would just basically hand bomb them all the way up to the 3rd floor here where we are. Must have done over a dozen trips just carrying furniture up and down a pretty narrow winding staircase, but it all went well. So that was one thing we're waiting on to finish our move. Next thing we're waiting on is or the next thing that we were waiting on was a dryer. We had a washing machine, but the dryer was on back order. So follow up with the landlord, and she gives me a call. She says, hey, it'll be here yesterday. So I'm recording this on Sunday. They came on Saturday, so yesterday. So it'll be here on Saturday. They'll install it, send me some photos, make sure everything's honky-dory, and make sure everything works well. So I said, okay, great. The guys show up. These 2 young guys, and not professional at all. One of them, I guess, was like the leader, says, oh, take me upstairs, show me where it's gonna go so we can prep accordingly. So I bring him up a winding staircase up to the next, story, and he looks at it, he goes, okay. Goes downstairs, and they bring the thing up. First of all, they don't take their boots off. It's like there's snow here, and like not the clean snow, like the gray, slushy, murky, mucky snow that has like dog shit in it and like salt from the city salting the sidewalks and the streets to make sure no one slips and stuff like that. Like it's dirty snow. And I'm like, can you please take your boots off before you come in? He's like, no, we can't do that. I'm like, okay, well, I didn't fight him on it because I figured they're steel-toed boots and he's carrying a drying machine up a rickety staircase. So, okay, fair enough. But then he gets there and it's just problem after problem. The gentleman who installed the washer left the appropriate piping and tubing for the exhaust of the dryer so that once the dryer comes, it's super easy for them to just install it. And anyway, they bring the machine up and the guy's like, no, none of this works. None of this, this is either too big or it's either too small or this is a fire hazard. So basically there were some elbow-shaped aluminum tubes, and the dryer backs out literally onto the hole of the exhaust outside of the house. Like it's not like it's all coiled up and having to make its way all the way to the North Pole and back for it to escape the house. Like you're literally like there's a 6-inch space, between the dryer and the exhaust pipe sticking out of the house. It's super simple. And then the guy kept insisting, no, it's a fire hazard because there was some piping covered in fiberglass to insulate. Fiberglass is not a fire hazard. Fiberglass doesn't catch on fire unless you explicitly try to burn it. A dryer is not going to melt or burn fiberglass. The aluminum or plastic tubing outside or inside of a fiberglass insulated pipe might, but there was none of that. The aluminum itself was cut and molded to fit to the exterior pipe and to the 4-inch tube that was sticking out of the dryer. Now, while this was happening and the guy was insisting that he couldn't do the job, probably because he just didn't want to do it. And I did start by saying there were 2 young guys. I don't mean to be ageist or anything. I'm a young guy too. Like, I'm in my early 30s. and these guys were about my age, but they really came off seeming like they just didn't want to be there. They didn't want to do it. They were just not motivated, and it was more of like a let's dump it and get out so we can go and, you know, party it up because it's Saturday. It's like, well, I'm a paying customer, man. Come on. Anyway, so you know they bring the dryer up and they stick it on top of the washer, and they secure it to the washer so it doesn't rattle or whatever. And the guy looked at the equipment that was left there for them to finish the setup, and within like a second, he's just like, yeah, no, this is not gonna work. We can't do this. Sign here, we're off. And I had a million other things going on at the same time. We had people coming over to go and help us out with something, and then moments later, we had to jet out, and we had some family stuff going on as well. So like, I'm balancing everything, and then the dog is going crazy, of course, because he's not used to strangers in his house. He's a COVID dog. So I got a million and a half things happening, and these guys are just like, yeah, no, this is your problem now. We're leaving. Sign here. So I'm like, okay, I'm not gonna fight them on this because honestly, I needed to dedicate my attentions to other stuff. So okay, fine, I'll sign here. If anything, I'll install the thing. I see the part can fit. I can, you know, work my way around it. It's a 4-inch pipe. It's simple. It's thin aluminum. You're literally just using it to get the heat from the dryer outside. So, okay, I'll install it. Well, my hubris told me I could install it. So I texted the landlady, and I was like, listen, if the handyman can come by on Monday or something, then, you know, we can just do it together real quick. It's very simple. It's very easy. The landlady, you know, she swears by this handyman. He does good work, and for her, it's more of like a guarantee for her that things will be done up to code and up to standard, right? So it's like, I'm not going to impose and say, hey, I'll do it myself. Like, if the guy wants to come over and then tell the landlady, he's like, yeah, it's up and running, and that gives her peace of mind, then I know that I'm not going to have any issues, and then she's not going to have to worry about it. Anyway, I digress. The guy comes today, which is really kind of, it's a Sunday today as I'm recording this. So he came around 1:30 this afternoon, and he and I basically just took like, well, a few moments, and we, you know, we installed the thing together, and it works great. And then had a good time doing it. It was fun. It was interesting to learn some stuff from him. He's been doing this stuff for a very long time. I'm sort of new to the whole fixer-upper thing, so I always relish opportunities to learn and pick things up from my father-in-law, or, you know, my friend Anne who works in construction, or, you know, the handyman that came in today. So I learned a lot. We had a good time doing it. It works great. My wife did like a million loads of laundry there today. Yeah, the thing works fine. There is not a problem with it. And we used the exact same stuff that was left on the floor by those two guys that came and delivered the thing yesterday that were supposed to do it. Anyway, it's done now. Everything is fine. It was just a little bit of a first world problem. And here I am, enjoying this Abruzzese wine, enjoying some Samuel Gowett's Full Virginia Flake, which to me is a bit of a unicorn blend. Like, this thing is tough to get a hold of. It's always out of stock. If you go to a brick and mortar, if it's not sold out, it's like $50 a tin. It's tough to get Full Virginia Flakes. So I'm considering this as like a treat. You know, everything the house needs to be a comfortable home is done, and the only thing that's left is this room, basically. I still need to get a couple of armchairs, a coffee table, and a carpet, because this is my space. This is my room to decorate. This is my, I guess you can call it a man cave, but it's also like a formal living room, like a front room or like a den. You know, I want to get rid of this old thing and then get some proper armchairs with backings and, like, you know, arms like that. And then yeah, so that's pretty much the only thing that's left, and that's going to be a work in progress. Like, I'm not going to rush to get that done because honestly, I'm quite comfortable with the way things are now, but it'll be one of those things where, hey, if we happen to be walking past, like, I don't know, a used furniture store, then I might stop in and be like, oh, let me see if they got any armchairs, or let me see if there's a rug that might look nice in this space. So anyway, yeah, the last part that's left is basically just nitpicking at a few little things, but we now have everything we need to be lazy and comfortable in our new home. So yeah, what an adventure that frickin' dryer caused. Anyway, so yeah, aside from that, nothing new to report. Thanks for bearing with me. Apologies for the ramble, but this is what I do on Sunday nights. I actually got a lot of views on my last Sunday night ramble, so I figured people are probably more interested in just kind of hearing about the menial things that are happening in my world rather than my tobacco reviews. That being said, if you do enjoy the reviews that I have done and you want me to review something, let me know and I'll see if I have it, and if not, I'll see if it's easily accessible, and I'd be happy to give you guys my thoughts on it. Again, I'm always open to questions, comments, queries, so feel free to drop me a line or leave a comment or whatever. I try to respond to every single one. So yeah, that's it for tonight. I'm going to relight my pipe, enjoy the rest of this bowl, enjoy the rest of my wine, and yeah, I wish you all a very nice week. So thanks for putting up with me, and yeah, I'll see you guys soon. Cheers.